Welcome back to another episode of Drivers for Drivers. I'm Ken Cox. Behind the scenes, we have Arnell.
Yellow.
To my left, we got Francis.
Hi.
To my right, you got Kenny.
Howdy.
And we are
Drivers for Drivers.
Well, we're starting a little mini series. We're going to call it Keeping You Alive.
There we go.
You know, we're going to hit on a bunch of safety topics and things and dive into it a little bit more, give you guys some good information and why things are kind of implemented and why the reason behind it, the method. Wow, let me stutter through that. The methodology behind all of that. Before I get into that,
You started off really enthusiastic.
Yeah, and then I'm like,
kind of went the other way.
oh no! Brake Safety Week, August 25th through the 31st. All right, let's make sure we're doing our brakes, our pre-trips, and let's dive into those. Make sure that the brake pads are not worn, and if you have any questions, call the shop. They'll get you taken care of.
For
Good
sure.
sign is if your tandems don't slide real well.
That is, yep,
That's a pretty good sign.
Yep.
super.
Probably got some brake issue.
So we had sat down and we had talked to Greg a little bit about a whole bunch of things, and we decided like, hey, you know, what would be a cool thing to do? Let's put together this series. And so we're going to pick a topic. We're going to focus on that, and then next couple episodes we'll go over other topics. But what topic should we start with today?
Today is going to be driver fitness. And what does driver fitness mean? How does it affect you? And I mean, when we say driver fitness, does that mean that you can go out and work in the garden all day long and at the end of the day you feel good still? Or does it mean what you need to have in your person and how that affects you in your professional career?
You mean weight don't have anything to do with it?
What about fitness pizza in my mouth?
That's right. That's right. That's for the off duty.
All right. So, yeah, the FMCSA, they put together the driver fitness basic violations. Basic is, and I thought that was important, so I wanted to find what it means, like it stands for, because we do acronyms in here a lot, right?
Yep.
And basic is behavior analysis and safety improvement categories. It all ties into the SMS. It ties into all of that. So when we're looking at this, all of it is to keep us safe, is to keep us alive, is to keep the motoring public alive. And so,
and I would say we're probably looking at two different classifications. One is our professional driver. Mm-hmm. The other is the equipment.
sure, absolutely.
So this part today is dealing strictly with the professional driver.
Yep. So what are some fitness requirements in this basic?
Mm-hmm.
What would that look like?
You should probably have your CDL with you.
That's one of them, absolutely.
Yep. And
Medical
along
card.
with that, with the CDL, the right classifications on the CDL.
Well, that would help.
Yeah.
So like A, B, C, R, 9, 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your class A, your class B, your class C.
Yeah. Yeah. Class A being a commercial tractor and trailer, Class B being like a dump truck or something like that. And then you got a different one for school buses. And then you got your other piece of it, one for tankers, one for doubles and triples, one for flat, whatever it is.
So all your endorsements on top of that.
Yeah, your endorsements that are
Your
on there.
hazmat.
Your
kind of
air
stuff.
brakes.
So that used to be a chauffeur license, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
That was back a couple years ago.
It was.
I remember we had talked about that a little bit on one of our previous podcasts about how you started out with the chauffeur's license, and that's what a Class A CDL was back then.
Yep, that's right.
That's fantastic. What would be some more driver fitness basics?
Basics?
Yeah.
Why don't you just read them off?
There's a whole bunch here. So
Yeah, there is.
FMCSA is put together. It is 680, I believe, different things that if you get pulled in the DOT station, that they can mark you off on. So you have 680 chances to become safer.
Yeah, no doubt. I know, and the point violations for these differ. For the severity of the event, But like we were talking, got to have your CDL and you got to have it with you. Medical card. You got to have a current medical card. Our drivers are running interstate, not intrastate. So they all have to have a medical card with them, a current medical card. And it's got to be registered and tied back to their CDL. A couple of the other ones that just hit, if your license says you need to have corrective lenses, you need to be wearing corrective lenses when you're operating that unit. And if you have a condition such as I've got sleep apnea, and I need to be utilizing my CPAP machine. And if you have a condition like that, then utilize it. I wear it every day. And it keeps me rested to where I can do what I need to do every day. And the same as our professional drivers. If you're required to have that, utilize that. Use it and get the rest that you need.
That probably ties into having your long form with you as well.
It is.
That way that they know that you need a CPAP machine, that is driver fitness. Any medications that you take are probably on that long form as well.
It should be. Yep. And then that way the DOT officer knows that you're allowed to have this prescription. If they do a deep dive into their duties. And so, yeah, all of that's really, really good information. And it's super important to have on us. It keeps us safe. It keeps those around us safe. You had mentioned earlier violation severity weight. There's also violation severity time, and that alone could be another episode. And I think we should dive into that, here in the next few episodes, and kind of explain what all this SMS stuff is, basics and whatnot.
Yep. So just to touch just a little bit on like a severity. Let's take one that really hits pretty high. And what does that mean for our professional drivers?
So the severity, as I'm going through here and looking at all of these, operating on a learner's permit without a valid driver's license. Okay, that's 38.3.23C, subsection 2. Right? It is a severity weight of 8, which is it's high. So your scale goes from 1 to 10, right? And it's an 8. That's going to stick on there for your SMS scores and all that. That's going to stick on there for 2 years.
So if it's a 3-point violation, it's actually a 24-point violation.
Well, no, it's a 8-point violation, but after a year or two, it drops a little bit. So it goes from like an 8 to a lesser score. So it's not as severe, and as it trickles down, it's worth less. It's losing points as the years go by. So when you get one violation, let's say you were out there operating on a learner's permit without a CDL holder, that's going to stay on that company's SMS score for years. And so you make one tiny violation, which you think's a tiny violation, but it's affecting you and it's affecting the company you're working with for several years.
No, you bet. I just renewed my my CDL, and when I went in and relinquished my old CDL, the one that was expiring, the gal that was helping me there, she just types it into the computer real fast, and she goes, "So you've had no violations?" So she knew right away, as soon as she typed it in there. And I said, no, I have not had any violations. And so she says, "Okay, no problem." And then she goes, "Do you want a 4-year or an 8-year?" It's like, well, I'll take an 8-year, So
they did that.
I know, I didn't either. And so I got an 8-year CDL. So that's one of those things now that, I don't have to worry about for a while. I got my license. I'm not going to go back in 4 years or 5 years and redo it. And I think it cost me like $10 more to go up to the 8-year mark.
Shoot, why wouldn't you?
No brainer.
Did you have to take the eye exam?
I did, because I don't have.
Did you tell him you needed the old version where it's left turn, stop?
No, but I did have to plug my ears so I could see better.
Whoa, horsey.
Yeah, no, that's right. But, so that is kind of a nice feature, and it's something. But, I got to keep that driver's license with me all the time, just like our professional drivers, You got to have that stuff with you at all times.
Right on.
Should be part of a pre-trip. You got your wallet.
Yes,
You
I have
got
my
your
wallet.
license.
Hey, it happens, right? I mean, it's happened to me before. I've left the house and come to work, and I don't have the keys to open the office. You know, it happened before. So turn around, go right back to the house again, go get the keys.
Can you imagine being states away and figuring that out?
Oh yeah. That'd be tough, you know. Or running a truck if you left the house or something, jump in the truck and get on down the road and stop to get fuel, and guess what? You ain't get your wallet with you. You don't have a driver's license. You don't have a credit card. You don't have anything at that point.
Let's see. That's a severity weight violation of 8, and here's another 10. So
Yep, that's right. It's serious, you know. It's almost like you said, Kenny, a pre-trip. You know, you're going to have to leave the house. You got your sunglasses, you got your wallet, you got your keys, you know, everything that you need to have on your person. Make sure you have it, because if you don't and there's something that happens, an incident happens, or you get pulled into a port of entry or something and you don't have that, it'll affect your driver fitness.
Probably a good thing to check it every time you leave a truck stop shower too.
Yep.
I know a few of our drivers have gone off and forgot their wallet, don't have their fuel card.
Yeah, it can definitely snowball from there. I mean, luckily, those incidents that I've been involved with, you know, those individuals were able to, you know, recover their lost items. But man, I couldn't imagine. I've left my wallet at work before and drove all the way back here to Twin, and like, oh my goodness.
Took my wedding ring off in Paducah, Kentucky, on my way to North Carolina. Luckily, my wife's like, "Where's your ring?" We're 300 miles away. I called them and said, "I'm going to be coming back through there." They still had it.
The big town of Paducah, Kentucky. Put
Yeah.
it in the notes if you've been there.
Paducah.
Fairly honest people. Or I got a cheap ring, one of the two.
That's right. But in all seriousness, driver fitness is very, very much a big deal. You guys and gals that are out there dealing with this, you deal with it daily, and it's part of a requirement that you have to deal with along with everything else. So just want to make sure that we're relaying as much as we can. And if you have any questions on what kind of things other than what we've just talked about, that we just touched on, could affect driver fitness, put it in the comments and we'll try to answer back in another one of our podcasts.
Absolutely.
One thing I do want to mention is our driver fitness. We're at 100%. Is that what I heard you say?
We are.
So we're doing good there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
Kudos to you guys out there for keeping up with all that.
Fantastic. Arnell, do you have any questions?
I just wanted to add something. What I do, I have a bunch of air tags, and I put them like one on my dog, one on my keys, one in my backpack, and this thing will let me know like where it's at all times. So I would recommend anybody buy yourself like 4 or 5 air tags, put them on everything, you know.
There you go. There you go.
Closing thoughts?
You know, here we're talking to you about another one of those requirements, you know, and every time we have a podcast, we talk about requirements, whether it's paperwork or checking in with a receiver or whatever. It's just another one of those things that are required for our professional drivers to do every day. And you guys do it 100%. It's amazing. Thank you for everything you do. We definitely appreciate it. Again, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and what you do every day. So thanks.
Closing thoughts?
Well, I was just making sure I got my CDL with me so I can drive home. But no, this is kind of a safety topic as well, you know. Pre-trips aren't just about equipment, you know.
Yep.
Make sure you got the right equipment to be driving in and right clothing. Everything goes right along with this.
Absolutely. Well, stay tuned till next week where we continue the series of, I'm going to call it Save a Life series.
Yep.
And thanks for making the better move.
See ya.
See ya.